Hello, this is my very first YouTube video, so please be patient with me. And I've never used this camera before, and I can tell you I've already had some ups and downs trying to make this video. I am a tarot card reader, and I have been a tarot card reader for 36 years. I've done literally thousands and thousands and thousands of readings over that time. And I decided that I would like to kind of specialize in unsolved homicides and missing persons cases. I think what really drew me in that direction is I lost a friend of mine due to a very brutal murder back in the 80s, and unfortunately they have never brought her killer to justice. So that has always kind of been a driven factor in wanting to kind of do whatever I could to shine some light on these cases. I don't believe that people like me solve these crimes. I don't believe psychics really solve these crimes. Police do. But I do think that what we can offer is maybe to shine some light in areas that people aren't looking at or looking closely enough at. And sometimes that light might even be that somebody watching this video might know someone and they're thinking to themselves that, hey, this could be the person, but they're not certain. And maybe some information that we can offer will resonate with them in a way that's like, yeah, I think I really need to say something because this is it. I think they're right, that this is what they're talking about. So, it can't hurt to take a look and see what the cards can offer on this. And I have actually been reading on the Delphi case for some time now. This crime really hit home for me. I am a mother, and I just can't even imagine what these families are going through. Um, the first thing I did, when I heard about all the orange light bulbs was I put one on my porch, and I might be thousands of miles away and everybody thinks I have a red light on my porch, but I know what it stands for and I know the importance of it, and I have prayed so much that this guy is caught. So I opened a Facebook page, and I started doing some readings there, but I don't really push the Facebook thing, so not a lot of people saw the readings, but they're up there. And the last one that I posted, because I've been reading several readings after that, was on July 1st. So what I've done is I've consolidated the information from that reading, the readings from that time, and also all the ones I've done after that to try and put out information that the cards have given me, and I'm going to do a reading today and see what else they can tell me is going on right now. But what I have so far is his appearance. He keeps coming up with the King of Swords, and the thing about the King of Swords, and now when we're talking about descriptions of people, the cards can give a description, but sometimes they're talking about the personality. So I give it all. And he may not look exactly like what I'm going to say, but it could be talking about appearance. And if that is the case, they usually have light brownish blonde hair to dark brown hair, and usually hazel to dark, to darker eyes. Does that mean he can't have another eye color or hair color? Absolutely not. But that is what most commonly what the King of Swords does tend to look like. They also tend to be somebody who's like been in the military or still is. They can often be in law enforcement in the past, or they are now. Sometimes security guards, past or current. They also work with machinery, like car mechanics, airplane mechanics, something of that nature, and sometimes in engineering. Doesn't mean they couldn't have other jobs, but that's what they seem more inclined to. And the thing about the card, though, is the jobs, they come off as authoritative. So anything of an authoritative position, even in the legal field, that seems important and powerful, that's what they're drawn to. I get him at between the ages of 30 to 35. Now, could he be up to 40? Sure. But this is like what I call the prime area of age, is between 30 to 35. Personality, he is a loner type. This guy is a loner type. He is very withdrawn, and especially now because he was not expecting that video. And thank God those girls thought ahead of time and got that video, because that's going to be a game changer in all this. It's going to expedite capturing him. And he knows that everybody uh, is looking for him. They have way too more information on him than he ever thought he'd leave behind. So he's scared. He's very scared, and he's been scared. And as of my reading that I posted in July, he's been wanting to go off the grid since then. He's been wanting to just escape the area where all the people are that might notice him, and go live off the land, which he feels he's very much capable of doing. Live in campsites, anywhere he can, but he wants to eradicate himself and get off the grid and under the radar. And but the Five of Pentacles keeps coming up, so that tells me he's not financially able to just disappear like he would want to. He also has family in Delphi. A mother figure keeps popping up. It's either his actual mother or someone he has loved like a mother, like someone who raised him and he has that connection with. And she's connected to the area. Now, she may be right outside of Delphi. In fact, I'm kind of inclined to think she is right outside of Delphi. So look at the little surrounding cities. But he has ties there. So he's someone that would be coming home to see her if he can. And he may even be forced to live there if the cards are right and he is without any type of resources. One thing that comes to mind with that is that somebody who has committed a crime and is trying to get out of society probably left their job if they could. So he may very well be very poor, like the cards are saying, because I can't imagine with everybody looking for me, showing up at my regular job every day, noticing, noting I can't talk, knowing that someone there may notice me and kind of start thinking, yeah, that, my coworker really does look like this guy they're looking for. It just kind of puts it all out in the open even more for him. So, yeah, I could see him leaving his job, trying to disconnect even more from people. Let's see. I'm trying to think here. What else could I have left out? I do have a time frame of when his arrest will happen, and believe me, it is right on top of this. The thing that I want to avoid, because if he is possibly listening to this video, which I know is kind of, like I'm nobody, nobody's looking at me, but in the off chance he's kind of looking for videos and runs into this, I do not want to give him a jump on the police. So that's the last thing I want to do. So I'm not going to tell him exactly when he's getting arrested, even though the cards can be kind of hairy on time frames. But I have a good idea. So I'm going to tell you this. According to the cards, by the beginning of summer, he'll already be in jail. They'll have him. In fact, it indicates that the police kind of know who he is. I mean, I'm not saying, oh, they know this is him, but they really do kind of know who they're looking for. And that's part of why they may be very quiet right now. But just because you know who somebody is that committed a crime doesn't mean you have the evidence to walk in and arrest them yet. But they have already looked at this guy, and he is definitely on their radar. So he's not getting away with this. He will be arrested, and by early summer, he'll already be in jail. So he can figure out if he does see this, just exactly what day that's going to be. I'm not going to hand it to him and expedite his efforts in escaping. But that's what we're working with. So rest assured, and it could happen sooner, much sooner, but by that time he will be in jail. And I did ask the cards the motive, because I know if everybody is like me, we're all asking ourselves why. I mean, why? Why these two little girls? They weren't doing anything to anybody. They just went out to play that day. They'd never hurt anybody. They'd never, what could this guy really want to do that for? I mean, it just breaks my heart to pieces. And their families. I mean, these families are changed forever. And it's just incredibly sad that somebody would have the will to want to do that. And so the motive came back. And the card that keeps coming up for him is the Devil card. And that card is one, in its most severe form. It is a violent card, and it can indicate rape. Now, it means other things too, but when talking about crime, I'm looking at it in especially motive in its most severe form. And so it tells me he does have some kind of sexual hang up that may involve violence and, wanting to be with younger girls that he knows he can't be with. He's some kind of deviant in that matter. And so that was his motive as far as the cards are concerned. Um, Now, whether he was able to accomplish that motive or not, that's another thing. But that is what his intention was. And what is totally frightening about that, for all of us, is he's still out there. And people that have these kind of fantasies and act up on them, they don't stop. They don't change. If this guy was wanting help, he would have gotten help before he committed this crime and not stepped over into this. So this guy's still out there and he's dangerous. And as always, with any type of psychic or card reading, we have to take it as entertainment purposes only. But to please keep in mind, if anything that I say reminds you of him or a person like him, pay attention to that person. And if you think that they possibly could be the Delphi killer, please report it to the police. One thing I did leave out, and I knew I'd do this because there's so much to remember from all the readings I've done, is that he is likely from a religious background. His family may be very involved with the church, or he grew up in the church, and he has a strong religious background. He also may have had problems with alcohol or drugs in the past and may still use them, because that devil card also can be addictions. Obsession, addiction, all kinds of things. So it's something to keep in mind. And am I missing anything else here? For now, if I think of anything, I will get to it. But for now, let's take a look at the cards. I went ahead and shuffled them before I started recording to kind of bypass all that boring part. And now I'm just kind of shuffling them a little bit more, and I'm going to cut the cards and ask what's going on around him now in the current time and see what they can tell us. Oh, feeling powerless. There's that worry and stress all over again. Okay. All right. So this is interesting. Okay. So what I'm seeing with that Ace of Swords, he feels completely powerless over his circumstances and what's going on in his life right now. He feels trapped. He doesn't have the money, I think, to go and just get off the grid like he wants. He's got the Nine of Swords, which is a lot of nightmares, worry, stress about his circumstances. His days are numbered. He knows his days are numbered. He's never going to get away with this. There's no out for him. So I can totally understand why he would feel this way. He's got this Ace of Cups. He wants to start a new beginning, and he's imagining, maybe finding some new woman that will take him in. I don't see it happening, but this is all on the fantasy realm of ideas, because he's got that Seven of Cups reversed, and the Seven of Cups is a lot of visualizing, thinking of ideas, visualizing, and trying to imagine what could be. But none of this is going to work for him. Because he's got too much going on. He can't make that happen. God, I don't even think he could risk getting with somebody new, but he is fantasizing about how he could change his situation. He's got the Six of Pentacles coming up, and that is upside down to him. If he were trying to get in a new relationship with anyone right now, like if he actually took this fantasy into trying to proposition someone, this would be someone where it was one-sided, where they were doing all the taking and none of the giving. He needs so much more from somebody right now if he wants to escape than he's ever going to get from them. So, but I see him trying to look off. Yeah, the funny thing was, I've never seen him in a relationship or trying to be in a relationship before, but I know another reader did, and I thought that's interesting. I haven't seen that, but now I'm kind of getting a taste of what they were looking at. It is possible this guy might try to connect with someone thinking that they can save him, hide him, something of that nature, and he's thinking of that, dreaming of that, has hopes of that with the Star card, but look, that's the Gel card right there. His days are numbered. He's never going to get away from this. So this guy, what I would say is going on around him right now is he knows that he's got a lot of problems on him. It worries him day in, day out. He has nightmares about it. He may have tried to put himself out there to, get with an ex-girlfriend he used to be with or meet a new girl to try and connect with them and maybe thinking I can live with them and they'll hide me or something like that. But it's not going to work out. If he's already talking to someone, if it's somebody that the other reader saw him talking to, that's already splitting up. He may be just trying to desperately cling to anyone that he thinks can get him out of this. But there is that card, and that card can often mean the jail card. It's trapped, and he's standing prepared. He thinks he's trying to brace himself for what may ever come, as far as his circumstances. But yeah, it's not looking good for him right now. He is extremely desperate. Also, if he's trying to find someone he can hook up with so he can kind of get in a relationship and move in with them, it may save him from his poverty where he can't just really go out and afford to take care of himself. But at the same time, it's not going to hide him, and I don't think anybody's going to just want to keep them in their home and not working, not paying bills, or contributing very little. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. There's obviously women that will put up with that, but there aren't many. And I think it wouldn't take long for them to notice that, this guy kind of looks like the guy they're looking for. So it'll be interesting to see what it plays out. A lot of this is in his thoughts and hopes. So he may not even be acting on it. He may be just coming up with ideas, which this card can often mean thoughts. And it could just be ideas of, oh, well, if I could meet a perfect girl who would let me stay with her, that would hide me out for a while. He could be thinking these things, but they're not happening. Also, with this stress and worry, this is weighing on him heavy. Not because he feels regretful. Oh, I bet he doesn't at all. But he realizes he messed up, and he realizes that they're closing in, and it's not going to be much longer. He will not be a free man much longer, and they are coming for him. So he's in a bit of a predicament, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But right now, that's what I have as far as what's going on. If I think of any other questions, or if y'all want to recommend any that may be helpful to identifying or shining some light on this, you're welcome very much to go ahead and email me at tarotinvestigations@gmail.com and give me your suggestions. And if you have any cases that you think may need a reading, I'm also open to that. So just hit me up and let me know. And for those who tuned in, thank you for watching. Have a great night.